Guys, everyone watching, we know Jaguar has messed up. There's nothing much that we can do about it. The ship has sailed. But we at Design Unscripted, we at Amig and Jesso are always bringing up content that should have some positive angle, because these people sitting at the top might have made a mistake, but they're not stupid. So we'll try and make sense of what mess up that they have done and try and make sense of it somehow. Maybe we'll fail, but we'll try. Gurjinder, any positive pointers from the Jaguar rebranding that comes to your mind already? Or any reasoning that you can come up with?
I think there's always a way to learn something from it. And that's I think our point here. I think the word mark is one sort of the spaced out letters, the mix of sort of uppercase, lowercase, and then the J and the R on either side, creating that symmetry. That's well done. That's really clean. And I think the designer who created that logo is on Twitter, and he posted about it that he worked on it, right? So respect to him, respect to that attempt. I think respect to sort of this grilled version of the Jaguar. I just wish that part was actually pasted on to the car as on top of the grill, but the Jaguar is a symbol that lives on, right?
Yeah,
at least I think
we think.
Yeah, I think a way to fix this is just add more, right? Bring back this Jaguar, pull it out of this grill system and bring it back into the logo, or bring it back into sort of a monogram, and introduce these things that people know and love for so long. Bring them back into the brand. Don't alienate people, right?
People are saying that it's confusingly generic. Yanko Designs are calling it that. It's like a Motorola typeface copy in a way. And they're not wrong. I mean, it's just, right? It's something so different from what, okay, I'll show you an image, and that is enough to get any car enthusiast riled up. You don't have to be a designer, a strategist or anything to understand how bad you're messing up with just this image. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
Big cat versus JC Penney fashion purse.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Highly fashionable monogram. Yeah.
Right.
Again, like the brand has British roots to it. So, again, maybe there's ways to pull that back into this, right?
Yeah, and we'll try that. Like, I've created a carousel that starts with calling it the best automobile rebrand with a question mark, because it's, of course, not the best automobile rebrand. But Gurjinder, there's the chance we are all really dumb. The entire world on one side, really dumb. Jaguar officials, really genius. How? Let's figure that out. What are designers missing? So you and I know this. On LinkedIn and on Instagram, you'll see these designers often miss the strategy aspect of things. They just get too riled up with the pixels. And I'm one of those. We're both one of those. But then we have the capacity to kind of look a bit further. We had done it with PayPal, with Upwork. We can see some sort of reasoning as to why it must have been greenlit, because it has been. It's not in the thought layer anyways. It's in real world. So my question to you, why does this look so different from these images? Why do you think so? It just looks very different as a treatment in terms of photography, how they're making things work, how gently they're touching the actual wooden kind of a monogram usage. This part is still luxury in a way. Different vibe, different iteration, but still lux. There's a bubblegum vaping fashion look.
Yeah.
Why are they so different? So it can be. So firstly, would you say the left one is a better choice than the right one?
Sure.
In terms of a vision?
Surely. Because I like the left one gives me an idea of the engineering behind it. So it's as if you're taking me into the craftsman shop, and I'm seeing how the Jaguar car is being developed. And if you're telling me more about the incredible engineering of the car and why I should own it, incredible.
But we can't forget that it's becoming an all-electric new brand.
Yeah.
And so this is not palatable, but okay, we'll do with it. this is there some sort of an abstracted, almost Puma-looking Jaguar, but okay, we move on. Still, the left one looks way better as a design choice than the right one, but why is there a difference in the brand marketing campaign and the actual rebranded elements? Which is something I put a lot of thought into, because there must have been a reason, right? So the reason can be they're transitioning into a new world. And here's the secret bet that Jaguar is making. It's a bet. It's a conscious choice, which is they're taking the bet on the internet shaping up with these visuals in the new world. And so this might not be a random approach with this imagery and these models, this brand marketing campaign, because this might be how the new internet looks, at least from where the markets that they are selling their cars into, the Western markets majorly. This might be the new visuals that the Gen Z and the next generations grow up with, which is some sort of a bright imagery, huge inclusivity, maybe inclusivity for the sake of it, imagery for the sake of it, communication for the sake of it, nothing sincere, but that might be the internet that the West is gearing themselves towards. It's probably not just pandering to the forced inclusivity or woke Western things. It's not them pandering to it. Maybe they're taking a bet that this will be the commonality later. So it's a strategic choice of appealing to the future, because our tastes depend on the visuals we grow up with, right? That's why retro has so much of a pull, and that's why we are so connected with that big cat logo. It's not that it's just a good logo, but we associate so many things with it. Growing up, it was a dream for so many people to have that on the bonnet, have that, that sleek Jaguar thing on the bonnet as well. So they're letting go of this, because you can say they're starting a new visual legacy in terms of colors, photography, messaging. This will be what resonates with the new generation when they are old enough to buy Jaguars. Does this make sense?
I think you're front running then that audience before they're even ready to buy luxury.
And that's why you can say that they have, that's the word, you're front running them. You're showing them that, okay, you are this, but they're like, oh wait, we're not. But they were getting there, but you just were too fast to execute, I guess.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm still disappointed as a designer and a fan of branding. But this strategic angle that I'm thinking about, it's something designers miss, and it's something to talk about, because you were right. I mean, they are doing the showcase in Miami Art Week. So they are trying to be more inclusive of, the design aspect of things, engineering, the beauty of engineering aspect of things, but it doesn't feel sincere at all. It just feels like a cash grab in a way towards trends. But if those trends become the solidified new way of doing things, then we will be, pretty wrong. And Mercedes, Audi, McLaren, they are all really far behind. If Jaguar has taken the right hunch, right?
Yeah.
And so what do you think of this? What do you think of this as a logic? So I'm just trying to make peace with it, man. At the end, this is really sad. I mean, here's a look. 2nd December 2024, Miami, copy nothing.
Right.
And you had sent me a screenshot where nothing, the phone company had posted saying copy Jaguar. I hope they don't copy Jaguar. Please, Kalpe, it's a request. Don't copy Jaguar. Don't copy the new iteration. But yeah,
they're having great fun over there. Nothing is having great fun over there. Now, they're sort of going after this sort of boxy, defined look, sharper lines across the car that reminds me a lot of the Cybertruck. So that right there, copy nothing? Or are you trying to copy the trend that Cybertruck has initiated? I would say Cybertruck was the real copy nothing type of car.
Right? Total. I mean, in a way, this just feels like a 3D render that you will see on those, those lo-fi tracks on YouTube, lo-fi music videos. A car is just running on the highway. It's one of those iterations.
And from far away, it's really hard to see that Jag. The Jaguar is just kind of invisible, especially when you're driving in the middle of the night, right? You're not going to be able to see that.
I don't mind this. This doesn't look that bad, but the car doesn't look that bad in terms of visually. Maybe, I don't know. It does look bad, but somehow I can make peace with it from the electric angle.
Yeah.
Just giving it that leeway. But you're right, the monogram, it just doesn't feel Jaguarish anymore. There's no strength to it.
Yeah.
That visceral strength that Jaguar had before. I mean, what
Right.
is this? Come on.
Yeah. I think I saw somebody on Twitter say a better tagline could have been the beautiful animal, right? Which gives which gives a bit of a personality to the car, right? As if it's a companion, as if it's, sort of like riding a tiger, which, you don't get to do. But you're riding a big cat and you have that visceral, wild energy that comes with the name of Jaguar. Like, and that has been lost.
But you know what's sad? I think they have lost Jaguar as an identity itself. They've never mentioned it. It's not in their communication.
Yeah.
I mean, the pointers of communication don't revolve around a beautiful animal and the strength and the agility of it and the legacy of a big cat, basically. It's generally, actually, it's very difficult what Jaguar has been able to pull off for all these years, because cat is not symbolic of strength, right? But then you have a big cat, a Jaguar, still not the strongest. There's a lion, there's a horse for Ferrari, there's a bull for Lamborghini. But they still were able to make big cat look really cool. And it's not a tiger, it's a Jaguar. It was something always of a British icon, internationally loved, revered as a brand for sure.
Yeah.
Now they're just giving into just trend biting again.
Yeah.
And it's very sad.
The thing with fads is fads will, happen over trends, but fads will fade out over time. But you need a brand and an identity that will last you decades.
Right.
And
I tried to make sense of the brand marketing. Maybe they're betting on these fads becoming the new reality of design and communication, how the new generation grows up. And they're not that wrong, if you think about it.
No, I hear you.
Things have latched on to the tech brands, right? I mean, yesterday I was making an email and, you're filling in your information and there's so many places where you can just, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I hear you.
Conjure up some personal details.
But the thing I want to say to that is, this is the timing of this is a little bit is odd, right? Because we have just gone through the elections here in the United States, at least, and this whole idea of, as they keep calling it, the woke culture, and there's an anti-woke ideology. I think the way that we've seen things play out is diversity, inclusion, is a core kind of human element that we all need to implement in our society. But when a corporation tries to go in and force that on you, that's when it becomes problematic, and that's when it creates even more tension for those that want to be a part of just humanity. And we are all human. We are all the same species, right? Whether you want to consider genders are different, but still we're the same species. But the fact that very much corporatize that, and that trend of corporatizing it is going downhill because people are actively on Twitter. People have gone through this election, and what stood out as more important to them than diversity inclusion matters was the economy. Was the debt issue in the United States, was the issue with who's leading the country and what could happen in terms of world war, in terms of all the things, in terms of crypto, right? Our ideologies are no longer driven by diversity and inclusion. It's more of the wider sense of how are we living in today's world? How are we going to be able to afford a car like Jaguar? That's what's more important. And if you really want me to sell it, then you have to make this feel like a Jaguar that I have to own, a luxury car. And you have to do that with the best electric engineering if they're going to do that. Focus attention on that. If you want to, your logo is kind of, wordmark is kind of spaced out like Tesla. So don't copy Tesla, but I want that sort of Tesla energy of innovation from every electric car out there. I think Kia has done a really good job with their rebrand. We look back at that, and when that came out, it also caused a lot of buzz. Like, is it KL? KL?
Yeah.
I don't know. But throughout the execution of it, worked out.
Tata as a brand, the parent brand of Jaguar, is doing pretty phenomenal here in India. Mahindra is doing pretty good in EV. But it's very difficult from the luxury automobile manufacturing standpoint. It's very difficult because they are as much like fashion houses in a way. So
Yep.
the way their perceptions are, the way they have to handle what people think of them, how they're positioned, it's very difficult for them to transition entirely from, like grrr to smoothness. From this roaring engines to the EV sector,
Yeah.
it should actually, if there was strong strategy, it should actually not be difficult because it's just a product change. The way your ethos was, your strategy, mission, everything remains the same. Just a product change. And what that product means to people will change anyways in the newer generation. Many of us might not like, the EV engines, but that's because we have heard the growls. The next generation won't heard the growls, the donuts. They don't know what's a donut is, bro. And so it's very difficult, but they've handled it really badly as well.
Yeah.
And it's a bet that we talked about. It's a positive side that I tried to show.
Yeah.
Characterization.
I think every brand identity that you come out with is going to be a bet. But there's also this, sense of good culture, sense of good taste, sense of the cultural fit of the modern era, not of where we've been in the past 5 years, but more of where we've headed in the next 5, 10, even the next decades. That's what we have to look at when we launch a brand identity.
90 plus years of legacy, and it feels like they're almost preparing for their deathbed with colorful dresses.
Oh no.
Like a grandma, right? But that shouldn't be the case. Hopefully it's not the case with Jaguar. Hopefully it's very difficult. I don't know hopefully what they'll do. Maybe they'll surprise us in Miami Fashion Week, with Miami Art Week, with something completely different.
Yeah.
Towards the end, only thing is what we would like to see more from brands is don't use what woke means now. Don't use it as a crutch for a corporatization of things. If you're actually careful, actually sincere, just showcase people as people, and others love it. Others don't have a problem with it. If you showcase people as normal people, just like everyone else, nobody much minds. We all have our own lives and we are all happy with everyone else around us. But don't position themselves or position them as something of a different, and they have their own attributes, or they are very different from everyone, and now they are flag bearers of something. Don't do that, because it's not true. Then it's not true. It's just all people. And at the end, who's your target audience? Who's your target consumers? Figure that out, Jaguar, because maybe you're messing up on that front as well. Maybe you'll lose out on customers after being low on customers for a long time anyways.
Yeah.
So let's see. They've created a buzz, and I don't think it's a positive one at all. So, Gurjinder, as far as this vision is concerned and this disconnect that we're seeing, there's actually been some interesting rollouts from their side, and something to think about that there feels a pretty huge disconnect between the products that they're creating and how they are being marketed. It feels like there's a disconnect between the engineering team and the marketing team. It's very possible for a team this big, and I would like to show you kind of this image to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So we had seen this before, concept car, very huge grills, and looks a bit awkward to be honest, but I mean, that's the EV route.
Yeah.
It's not something we're happy about. BMW's taken this route. But yes, so we have these things, these new concepts, so to say. And what do you think? Like when you see these images, these two images, it doesn't feel as jarring, does it?
Yeah. I think this reminds me a little bit of like some kind of retro appliances at home, like an air conditioner.
Right.
That's what it looks like. It looks like one of those really old ones where like you would have some golden accents of material speckled in, right? So there's a bit of a retro futuristic, I guess, notion that we're going for. And it differs a lot from the post-apocalyptic disasters, Big Brother 1984 look that we got from the commercial.
And so this is where the disappointment is, because
Yeah.
this looks like an automobile you would want to drive.
Yeah.
This looks like something we'll have to accept and kind of work with.
Yeah.
Not the most fun thing, but can't help it. But this was still doable. This vision, brown and blues, wooden kind of a feeling on, metal, polished blue metal works. This works.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's the point I was making as well. You can see this concept car has been seen on the roads. They're testing it. And this will be shown on the 2nd of December at the Miami Art Week. So we're super looking forward to that. It's the only thing that can save them. Yeah, otherwise it's a disaster pretty much.
This looks like a cross between a Dodge Charger and... I'm trying to put my finger on it. Like a Dodge Charger and a Cadillac, I think.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
Yeah.
Is it wrapped on purpose to keep it secret?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's camouflage so that people don't know it. Even the logo is hidden.
Oh.
And people are saying that it's this because it's been tested. The Four-door Grand Tourer, one of
Four-door?
Four-door.
The window in the back is like non-existent. I don't know if it's wrapped up.
Maybe they wrapped it up too much.
It looks like a only a two-door really car.
Mm-hmm. Battery range to cover in excess of 430 miles, 575 V8P. So by 2026, Jaguar is planning on 3 EV lineups.
Yeah.
It can all just get messed up. The plans can get messed up really fast if 2nd December doesn't work out.
Yeah. And
Will
2026
start above 100,000.
is a while away. It's 2 years away.
Pretty well away.
And that's also the thing. It will start above 100,000 euros. Okay. And that's just euros we're talking about.
Right.
And thinking of all of that, they still have the pricing of a luxury car, correct?
Surely.
Way higher up above something like Tesla, which,
But honestly, this
original
doesn't look
Elon
cheap
Musk.
at the same time, right?
Yeah, that's true.
We would agree that this is fine.
Absolutely. That's not the point I'm making. It's more like, okay, this is a luxury product. And then when we launch the brand, who are we going after? Is it a younger generation? I think their executive came out and said we have to do something really different from sort of the automobile norms.
Contemporary audience.
Correct. For the contemporary audience who is going to grow into becoming, maybe in the next 2 years, grow into becoming Jaguar's primary buyers. But you have to rethink, do these people have enough for a car of that magnitude, right?
Surely not, because
Right? Are we going?
marketing just fell apart.
What kind of folks are we going after? Do they know what the target audience is clearly?
And this is something we've seen in the fashion world as well, right?
Yeah.
Where they just go for a complete diminishing of personality to becoming just typefaces.
Yeah.
And it's very kind of sad at the same time. It's like, why are everyone just falling on the bandwagon, jumping on the bandwagon just to kind of refresh themselves in a way that takes away their legacy, and they're okay with it. So that's really sad to see. And I don't understand how these decisions get made at a corporate level.
Yeah.
But sure, that's something that they've gone for. But still, as we saw, that there's a disconnect in how the marketing team wants us to feel, wants Jaguar to be portrayed versus what the engineering team is actually cooking up behind the scenes. So it's on them to just, bridge the gap and actually create something cohesive and interesting for the consumers, something exciting. Because in 2nd December, they can actually take off the wrapper and that car looks actually better, then sure, the marketing, you can say, worked in a way.
Yeah.
But to be able to do it.
You inspire me to do one of these reviews on the Tesla brand. And I know they have gone through any kind of rebranding, but the point that you make, on the Tesla side, the brand identity that we see, the red logo, the kind of, the font that is spaced out, futuristic vibe to it. If you look throughout their UI as well, across their website and in the actual car, all of it is well integrated. All of it matches the brand identity, right? They're using similar colors, everything. And on top of that, then, the engineering actually matches. The engineering actually matches the design, right? So the brand give me a sec. So the brand identity and the engineering matches. Is that the same that we are seeing on the Jaguar side? That's something I wonder. And that's something that Tesla has done well.
Totally. Generally, legacy brands are able to do it. Mercedes does it. Everyone else is able to kind of make sure that there's not a feeling of difference, at least.
Yeah.
Perception-wise, there can be rifts in the marketing team and the engineering team. I'm sure it happened inside Porsche or something.
Yeah.
It can happen inside McLaren or anything like that. But
Right.
as audiences, if we feel it, then that's a short way to just mess things up. And that's what has happened with Jaguar. Hopefully they can bounce back, because it is one of my childhood dreams to buy a Jag. Now I don't think it is a dream, but sure, let's see.